Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey everyone, welcome to the discussion for Mantis Falls, a game of trust. Like life, a cooperative game that's only really cooperative sometimes. Wow, that was such a good game.
I thought I had you guys when Brett did the Affliction. Honestly, I thought I had it.
Here's the thing. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and say this. This game is easily one of the best trader games I've played. I backed it solely on its premise. The trader mechanic for 2 or 3 people.
Yep.
Which is never done. I don't think there's a single... Because I just actually
uploaded...
Most of them
are like 6 to 8 or 12.
And when they're better, they tend to be... Like, good trader mechanic games require more players. Like,
yeah.
It's bad at
Resistance is best 7 or higher.
Dead of Winter is better
Dead of Winter
at 5.
is better. Nemesis, I actually think, is worse with more people because the game is so long.
But the trader mechanic itself, I don't know, changes that much with it. It just becomes a long game.
Right, and that's what I'm saying, is like... Shadows over Camelot is okay.
Yep.
And Unfathomable is fantastic. Battlestar Galactica as well. But those are, those always, of course, better with 6.
Yes.
You know, and when they were like, hey, 2 to 3, and that's it. They didn't add any well, you can play solo. Am I the traitor or not? But they didn't add any stretch goals of it being like, oh, hey, here's a module to add 4 or 6. They stuck to their guns to do 2 or 3. And, man, is it so solid. To talk a little bit on the actual run-through, which we very rarely do, coming on, like, immediately starting a discussion, the entire time... I was like, I thought Brett just didn't read the fucking card. Yeah. And he was, because whenever he looked at it, he was like, yep. And I'm like, he threw the game. Why? This is a run through. You fucked me. Now my channel is shit. And then you played it. You played a betrayal card with an affliction that was the exact same result. Someone has to die.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, he only did that because it was a full health, and I know I'm a witness, so I'm screwed no matter what. And damn, yeah. So with that, because I actually did have a way to heal you.
Did you?
I had a suitor kit, which could have healed you 1. But actually, that still wouldn't have mattered.
It wouldn't have mattered because they still need like a tincture
and there is
something.
A tincture, puts your last gasp down. But I'm pat myself on the back. I was like, I'm losing no matter what I do.
It was the right play. I knew it was the right play, but I was like, can I convince this?
Right.
To happen?
Yeah, that was a. I mean, and that was a good plea because it could have easily. I could have been like, yeah, Brett's obviously the assassin, so if I have it, I'll play tincture and I'll heal you. Because what was your plan? Your plan. I mean, for the record, I was also. What was your character?
I don't even remember. Urbanite. That's why I don't remember.
8 health, and then I was the pugilist. So I actually had quite a bit of health.
Yeah, so honestly, I was trying to get to the end of the road to hopefully get a better action card. So there weren't any good ones.
So to fuck the killer in the falls.
Which is what I was hoping for. Because then I thought, okay, if I can eliminate one of you, then I've won.
You are guaranteed to win.
So all I was trying to do is, okay, Brett has kind of pointed himself as the bad guy. I didn't think about the fact that you could shoot me and it was a gamble. Because again, if you had shot Seth, I was fine with it.
Yeah.
It'd been great.
I mean, but I did have ways to heal. I had medicine.
Yeah, but it forced it out. It made Brett look more guilty, but he couldn't be guilty because again, he would be witness, and then you would know instantaneously who was the witness.
What's also really funny is I had the Night Owl and I had Sneakers. I was gonna bum rush it to here, and I had my call in a hit, and I had it played down, and then I was like, I was gonna do it on Brett because I was like, well, fuck, why would he play that? That's so dumb. It ended up working out, so it was the most brilliant move in all of gaming.
And that's where
you're like
going through it in my head. It's like, okay, so especially right there, as long as you know the other person you're playing with on that side has a heal card, and you do it right, you say I'm a witness, and if the person heals and then returns fire to someone else, you can prove that they're a witness and thus instantly know who the assassin is that you have to kill.
That's true. Yeah.
Now the assassin has to go
or that there's no assassin.
Or that there's no assassin.
But
you have
you
to go
definitely
gung-ho to try to kill one of the two people.
But here's the interesting part, because there were so many times this game came so close. I have multiple ways to wound
I did too.
people, and I knew chances are, like, I'm like, he could be the doctor, he's one wound away, that'll knock him down. But he could have also been a pugilist. But anyway, so whenever I played the call on a hit card, it was you and I.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, it damages the other player. I'm like, well, I don't want to damage Zach because I believe he's the other witness. So I pulled it back, and I think I just did another bum. I think I played the sneakers or something to bum rush, move further.
Yeah. So when you knocked me down the time before, so. Looking back, this event that I stopped, I shouldn't have, because I had advantage, which would have healed me, and I had tar, so you wouldn't have actually even moved, because I was going to play tar first to seal you, and then heal myself 3. Or 2. You wouldn't have been able to call in a hit, because you would still been stuck over there.
Yeah.
You would have wasted calling a hit, technically.
Yeah.
That's what, and I should have just
taken
he
wouldn't have played it then.
No, because he wouldn't know that I played it, because I said I was going to stop it.
Yeah.
We would both hit our health.
And it would have been a tie. And
because I would have healed 2, I actually would have stayed exactly where going 5 and gone back up. I would have been at 4 and gone back 2 and then gone back up to 4. But it would cause him to get wounded.
Yeah. I think, funny enough, the card that I randomly lost in an ambush was my call in a hit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, son of a bitch. But then I got car bomb, and I was like, well, I'm going to make it to the end, and I'm just going to fucking blow everyone up. I can't win. I was stuck in the middle the entire time. I'm like, well, I know I'm a witness, so I lose no matter what, because I didn't think there was an assassin. Or I thought Brett was the assassin.
That's what I was trying... honestly, the play was I was trying to convince everybody that there's no assassin in the game and just slowly hit people.
Yeah, but it didn't matter, because, with that particular card, it doesn't matter. It's to try and convince someone there's no assassin, because it's like, well, if that's the case, then we lose.
Yeah.
So let's just call it. And you can honestly negotiate and mind game that way, because it's like, well, let's call it. Someone's going to be like, well, no. It's like, there it is.
Yeah.
There's the assassin. Brett, what did you think? You've been awfully quick. He's just reveling in his genius. I had suspicion. I was hoping. That was your first play. You walked out of the diner and bailed. Desertion.
First turn or second?
It might have been the second.
I think it was.
But first or second turn,
off the bat.
you were just like, nope, someone's an assassin. Just took off.
Yep.
Yeah. No, actually, I misunderstood the card. I was assuming that it would be the survivors.
Oh, I see.
Oh.
Someone had to die. The other 2 are witnesses. The witnesses win. So, I screwed that up, but I was able to cover for it in a genius manner by your incredible outrage throughout the entire game.
Sold that I was not the assassin.
Witness. So the only thing is, hope that you were and take you down, and it kept getting a little easier, and I finally pounced.
That's true. And what's fantastic about this game, I kind of hearken it to the Resistance, because the Resistance is pure deduction and bluffing. That's why it was on the top 5 trader games. But this obviously has way more going on that makes it I would never play this. I'd rather play this over Resistance. There's no reason to play. It's one, because you don't need 7 people.
Yeah.
If you have 7, then play the Resistance.
Yeah.
But it does the exact same thing that Resistance does, is if I'm on the good side and I keep getting blamed, I'm not that good of a liar to be like, if I'm starting to get more and more agitated, it's like, he's probably a good guy.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know I was getting that. I was more defeated, because I'm like,
I know.
why would he do that?
I'll say I thought I'm pretty good at bluffing trader games. I'll say trying to lie unseen is super difficult.
It is really, really difficult.
Super difficult.
At least until you've seen them all and you're familiar with them.
Yeah. So it's not a negative of the game, but that is something to definitely bring up. And they mention it in the rulebook. So first up, another positive, the rulebook is fantastic.
Yep.
The way it's organized is just very streamlined to understand. The game's not hard to understand, but they definitely tell you, hey, here's the modular expansions. They're already separated, so you don't have to mess with them. Play the game a few times, and then throw in Full Circle. which definitely adds a lot more interaction. Like so many cards of, oh, hey, take a condition, take their cards, see what they're doing. And so I would say the game definitely shines with Full Circle. But this, it does mention that there is an element of, what did they say? Can I see the rulebook?
Yep. There's a learning curve.
Learning curve, yep.
Yeah.
Yep. The game of countermeasures and anticipatory tactics that become increasingly rewarding with experience and skill, which you never see in these games.
Yeah.
Like, for them to straight out be like, hey, by the way, there's a lot of cards in here that are going to be either they're going to seem overpowered or they're going to seem completely useless.
Yeah.
And it's understanding the game and what events can potentially come up and reading your opponent to be able to utilize them effectively.
To me, it's kind of like Twilight Struggle in that sense of two-player tactical games.
Sure.
Where you kind of got to know both decks to understand what is going to come up, potentially.
And how to accurately, because it's like, this game, I think, normally in most games where you can know everything about it, it falters. And it's like, oh, I've seen that, okay.
Yeah.
But this one, I think the game elevates because then it becomes way more of a mind game between players.
Oh, yeah.
And there's almost nothing in here that I think allows for random... I mean, yeah, you draw from an action deck, but not every card is useful.
Yep.
Like, you can run into, well, I didn't even get a chance to draw that card, but there's so many ways for you to force players to discard or to steal from their hand.
Mm-hmm. Or for you to discard to start flush. I mean, I had 4 bullets at one point.
Yeah.
I was like...
Did anyone have a gun?
Mm-hmm.
I did at the end. So literally...
He was going to get to the end to start open firing.
When we were required to discard all the cards in our hands, I got rid of all my bullets and then drew a gun.
Oh. Yeah. I honestly, the only thing I had going for me was I was just sulking down the street. Because I was like, all I had was just, I had knowledge, like, from cards. I knew what events were coming up. I had a bunch of cards in my hand. I was pretty much playing defensively just to see.
Which, as a witness, that's kind of how you need to play anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait for the assassin to reveal himself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which a good assassin won't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the other time that we played this game, and I do kind of wish there were more actions by night and actions by dark, just for variety.
Yeah.
But I will say the reason probably why there's only 5, is because, like, then you know, like, okay, now I'm the last one. Okay, then that means the other 2, either they have them, which adds more mind games, or they're in the actions by dark. So it's always limited. You don't have perfect information, but you do have some information.
But you could have more and still just put 3 and 2. So the first person would know exactly the other 2 cards that you guys are going to have to take. Mm-hmm. Like, I knew someone was going to have to take Card Bomb.
Right.
I mean, I took Doctor because I was already damaged once. And it was like, this is going to save me at some point.
Yeah. Yeah, I ended up getting Car Bomb, and then there's one card in the deck. The last time we played this, I don't even think you planned on me killing myself.
Yeah.
Because you were just trying to prevent the event, and I stacked on top of that. Because my plan was, and Brett was the assassin anyway, but my plan was, I think you're the assassin. I'm going to do falls, so that'll kill you if you heal yourself some way, which actually that prevents it. But then the event will take... like, I had 2 ways of ensuring that you're probably going to die, which would have ended up losing us the game. Do you guys have any negatives? Anything about the game that you don't like? Because I still don't know whether... Brett, do you like this game? It's kind of been Zach and I going back and forth.
It has been. And social deduction games are not my thing in general. And Trader is also not my thing in general. So combining them in a small group of people... granted, that's a little bit better because it's a little more focused. The problem that I have with like the Resistance or Avalon is there are so many possibilities to keep track of that I just don't bother, and I just kind of play random. Yeah. And everybody thinks that I'm... What the hell are you doing? Why are you thinking that? That's suspicious. Because I don't have a strategy.
Right. Well, those other games also, almost every single social deduction trader game falters on the sense of meta. Oh, you've been the traitor in multiple games I've been with. I'm just going to automatically accuse you. Yeah. And if you can get everyone to agree with you, there's nothing that person can do to convince anyone otherwise, other than cheat and show their card,
Yeah.
you know? And that's always kind of a problem because you shouldn't meta. There's no reason to in those games. So then, but the other is, like, in the Unfathomable game we played, I wasn't even a trader at that point. I honestly thought Brandon was.
Yeah.
And I got everyone to agree he's in the brig. I kept convincing people to keep him in there. So they're pissed. And eventually I was like, all right, yeah, let's let him out. And then I became the cultist, so it worked out.
Yeah.
But that can be very frustrating to be like, why can't I say anything to get you to convince me otherwise? Well, because the game inherently makes me distrust everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So more people causes that gang mentality.
And less mechanic.
Yeah.
The resistance in Avalon, so simple and straightforward
Yeah.
that there really is nothing that you can do to either cover or to try to accuse other people.
Yeah.
You know,
It becomes, okay, well, I've played with this person enough. Seth is getting really mad. He's not the traitor. Unless he somehow learned to get really mad when he's lying, which I have not figured out that skill.
Yeah.
Or you just stay calm and collected, but then at that point, you're not helping your case. But you're right, yeah. In this one, because I did start, like, it was really towards the very end, when Brett was healing himself, and he kept helping in small ways, but I'm like, it's not enough. And you didn't show anything. So I was still like, well, we fucking lost.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what I do. But yeah, in Unfathomable or in even Shadows over Camelot, those games do have like, no, look, I'm doing everything in my power to help.
Yeah.
Outpost 31. Outpost 31.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot. I kind of wiped that one from my memory. No, that one is fine.
But there's just enough going on that you can cover yourself. You can bluff
Yeah.
effectively.
Yeah.
In the games with virtually no mechanic, there's nothing to do. People go with their prejudices, and it's over.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. And that's why Resistance really sucks unless you have, like, max players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then chances are, if people keep accusing then you could still be the one that's getting accused, and your team can still win.
Yeah.
Zach, but out of all the ones you have played, like, do you like this one more than those, or is it still just kind of lumped into that group, or like?
Okay, so it's one of those that I say I appreciate the originality and the cleverness and the difference the different twist that it has on the whole genre. And again, as far as I know, this is the only one for a small group.
As far as I'm aware, yeah.
Yeah.
So all the other ones are much larger to be effective. So in that, I really appreciate it. It's kind of like art. There are arts that I really understand.
Yeah.
This is great, and I really appreciate it. I don't like it.
Right.
I don't enjoy it.
Right. It's in an art museum, therefore it must be good.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yes.
Like, for example, I don't like portraits like art. So like when you go to like Crystal Bridges in Arkansas or something, and I get to like the people, I'm like, I know this is all amazing.
Yes.
I'm very bored.
Yes.
I want to go to the scenic stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I got you there.
So, but this is a great game for well-designed, well-made for what it tries to do. I think it accomplishes it excellently.
Zach, do you have any negatives? Do you have anything that stands out that was kind of like, well, that's annoying?
So
There are a couple of cards that seem pretty useless.
So I don't mind that for if a card's useless or not, because some of it was situational cards. To me, they did a really good job on some of the language, and then other things like other player. Okay, at max you have 3 players, so just call them primary, helper, and bystander, something like that.
Or active players.
Yes, would have
been
cleared
that,
up so many cards.
They
That
do make
I think
it clear by the definitions in the book, but you have to have those ingrained to read it.
Or you have to come across that scenario where it's like, other player, I guess I can include the bystander, and it's like, oh wait, no, that's weird, and then you look it up, and it's like, oh,
or
wait,
like the marionette includes the bystander theoretically, but then it doesn't.
Yeah.
As other players.
And I think the reason why is because when 3 players, you have to play with the triad, and so every other card that says other, like, they would have had to change the wording on every single card to apply to 3 players when you're only including that for a small amount. Yeah. Most of the cards, this feels like it was a 2-player game.
Yes.
But you can play with 3, and honestly, I don't see a problem at 3.
Nope.
Because I think the bystander, which is very weird because it sounds like you are effectively not playing.
Right.
Yeah.
But what I viewed it as was there's a lot of cards that can include them. They come up pretty frequently where it's like, can you help? Oh yeah, I can help. Okay, I'll play this card. Yeah. But
And they can contribute to the overall.
Yeah, they can siphon their hand, so they're able to do enough so that whenever it's because you're only a bystander once.
Yeah.
In a 3-player game. But what I found fascinating of being the bystander is then you don't have other things distracting you, so you get to observe.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And be like, how are they interacting with each other?
Yep.
Oh, Brett's sweating. Why?
And you can purge the cards. You can show help, whether you are good or bad.
Yeah. Yeah, you get to be the middle.
Strategize with passing cards.
Yeah.
Yep.
Be like, okay, listen, I'm going to put down whatever. Like, you put down teamwork, and finally I got chameleon. That's why I was like, hey, does anyone have teamwork? I can help. But then it's like, oh, okay, you can't heal? All right, well then, as a bystander, I'll put this down, so whenever you draw...
Exactly.
So you're a lot more involved than I feel like the rules kind of give off.
Yeah, and like if you know you're going to hit an ambush card, because if you're the bystander, you're going to be the first active player. You can place a card down, right? And you can basically say, "Hey, don't draw. I'm just trying to get keep it safe."
True. Yeah.
Doesn't necessarily keep it safe, but
No,
at
yeah.
least you're negotiating with players and interacting. So it's not like you're just taking an off turn.
Yeah, and nothing is binding. Like there was in the last game, it was like there was the cut wires.
Yes.
And I was like, I'm just gonna take this so this doesn't get used. And then because you can also like I had tools in my hand, and I was like, I'm just gonna hold on to this.
Yeah.
I'm just not gonna use it. I don't want anything screwing me over. Yeah, warding was very weird. The ricochet card was the biggest one that we came across, where it's like, a damage... Oh, did you have it?
I did.
I knew it. I knew someone was hoarding that.
Well,
And not that I didn't know for certain, but I'm like...
I've only had a couple of turns.
I knew it was going to be you, because I'm like, he played that fucking card. He's going to hold on to the ricochet, so we can't attack him.
Yeah.
And that's why I burned, because I thought you were going to try and kill me, so that's why I burned to see what cards you were playing.
Gotcha.
But yeah, for the rest of this turn, all wounds received by you from any source are instead received by the other player. That to me immediately sounds like you play this to inflict self-harm to then ricochet to the other person.
But the book clears that up and
Yeah.
With more words.
Yeah, like a whole page. Which, I mean, I'm glad that that's there.
Yep.
It's like that they just included that.
Yeah.
I'll say just concept-wise and cards and everything, it's a pretty good game. Pretty solid. You know.
The theme is awesome.
Oh, yeah.
I don't quite get the iconography for some cards. Like why is contention... Oh, I guess because Ram's headbutt.
Yeah.
There was one in here, though, that I was like, what is that? Like, why is that the picture they chose? But maybe... I mean, obviously it wasn't that big of a deal. Ooh! One thing we have not brought up yet are allies. What do you guys think of allies?
I have no idea. 2 games, I never got a chance to use one.
I actively prevented you from getting them.
I felt like, were the most different in power levels.
Yeah.
So, like, Mr. Nash over there, he's 2, and yet lets you have another card in your hand. Mm-hmm. And I, honestly, because I had him at the beginning of last game, and then this game, I felt it.
Yeah.
I felt it bad.
Yeah, I didn't feel as overpowered having 8, but I do definitely feel like, man, I'm not drawing 8.
Yeah.
I only can get 7.
And so, to me, some of them felt like very overpowered for the number that you need, like Nash, versus Mr. DeMarco did not feel like he felt like what you would want with 2.
Yeah.
Like easy to get, so now you can randomly get 3.
Yeah.
That's great. That's awesome.
That's true.
Um,
Mr. Edwards, he's 4. Draw 1 additional event card during event. I mean, that is really good.
Yep.
That gives you a lot of information.
Which to me, that's 4 power. You need 4 of him.
Yeah. Because that's going to be difficult to get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there were a lot. But I do think the allies are cool. I don't think there's as many things to either get them / remove them. So once, like, Brett has random ones, I have random ones. Now the fact is, neither one of us can complete the set.
Yeah, that is true. They are easy to get, And yeah, I feel like you are playing kind of more hate drafty with the allies than really getting the rewards. I mean, you can definitely combo if you're communicating with a partner. Be like, hey, I'm going to move out and I'm going to I'm a phone call someone. Okay, well, I'll let you. So then I'll let you get the 4.
Yeah.
But at the same time, though, the higher powered ones, the ones like there's a lot of events that remove allies.
Yep.
Action cards that just wipe them, and so even though you need a set of 4 for him, you don't. One removal just wipes them all.
Out.
And then as soon as someone takes one of him, then you can't get him.
Yeah.
So they're really powerful. They are easy to take away. But yeah, Mr. Nash, I think he's probably the only one that I feel is most...
overpowerful his cost, yeah.
Because, I mean, you and I play Magic, so card advantage is huge in a lot of games.
Especially in hand management games.
Yeah. But I think it is kind of... It's not as overpowered as it could be, just because you have more cards doesn't mean you have good synergy.
Yep.
Which I hardly ever had.
Yep.
In fucking Brett, that card, man. That, like, threw anything I wanted to do, because I'm like, yeah, I have quick thinking and contention and grenade, but why play them?
Yep.
What's the point? I'm just going to sit in my car and blow it up and take someone else out with me. Yeah. People have to die anyway, so might as well make it 2 people. But... The best thing about this game, in my opinion, is the fact that during the Kickstarter, and this game, I'll have to look it up, because it was not expensive.
No, so I think it's on their website right now, like for $35 or something.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure
I don't know if that's like a deluxe edition, because this is it's not a felt map, but it's not neoprene either, but it's a cloth map. With these, their cards are health instead of these wooden pieces. But, let's see, Mantis Falls. There it is. My pledge was... okay, I know why. It was 150. And the reason why, I felt like it was like 30 or something. It's because this is the only game I have ever done that it was 150 to get a personalized card.
Okay.
That's why. Because a lot of them are like, hey, $1,000 for you to get a mini. And I'm like... But what if your game sucks?
Yeah.
And the 150 wasn't that bad of a burn, but I was able to give them a picture of my cat, and they did a fantastic job drawing her in, because this looks exactly like the picture I sent, and they made her a cat detective, and I love it. It makes me so happy. And she's pretty good. Because they also were like, hey, like, what do you want her to do? Like, I'm like, well, this game is kind of like, what do they call it? Sleuthy, that kind of era. I'm like, make her a detective.
Sure.
Like a cat burglar or cat detective or something.
Yep.
But I will say the allies are still kind of probably the weakest part.
Yep.
You get information from them, and it goes both ways. Like, if you're looking for a card, you know what they have, so you play a keep away a lot. And if you can get them, they're good. You mentioned the events were hard to bluff on.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really are. Because there was one event, and I knew what it was, it literally says nothing.
Yeah,
the whistling wind. In fact, nothing, bonus, nothing.
Yeah.
And I was like, what's the point of that? But then it's like, fuck this thing. No, the point is to be like, this thing is good. It's like 4 health, and it deals red damage.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I can't do anything, can you? So you make them burn their cards, and then you're like, okay, yeah, nothing happens.
Yeah.
So we survived.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. Okay, we got it. Oh, yeah. That's pretty much what you would say. All right. Yeah, we got it. Unfortunately, there's no bonus, but that that kind of bluffing comes in when you play this game a lot. I got nothing else. I got nothing else to talk about unless anyone has outstanding negatives to bring up. I can't really think of one. I would like. I mean, there is another expansion we haven't tried, the Under the Roses. What does that bring in?
I will bring up what I consider to be a negative.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Which is simply based on, there's a couple of cards that require matching cards, and they never came up. I had them several times.
Yeah.
And they're good cards. They're powerful. They might be overpowered in some situations, but never got a chance to use them.
Yeah.
And at one point, I even had 2 of them, 2 matching cards.
Yeah.
But because they were different suits, I could never play them at the same time.
The 2 teamworks?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that happened to me last game. I was like, hey, I got them, yeah. But there are cards that allow you to add other cards into your
Yeah.
run of a
or you
different
could
suit.
or you could pass it face up to somebody and declare here's
Yeah.
the intention.
Or repetition that allowed you to copy a card in your tableau. So,
I didn't see that ever. So
yeah.
It's Chameleon, and and I had it.
But there's also repetition that.
Oh, your
literally
repetition of the card.
compensates.
Yeah, sorry. There are, what I think this game does.
and when you're
yeah,
adding
keep
in
going,
the
sorry.
additional cards for the expansions, then those even become
Thins out.
more difficult
True.
to obtain.
Uh,
Minor.
yeah. I mean, that's something that's going to be valid to bring up if you are really trying to, because I wouldn't call this a strategy game. You have strategy to try and read people, but I wouldn't ever really I wouldn't try to top deck, personally, because even in the help card book, it even mentions, hey, by the way, Ricochet is really good, but you're holding it in your hand, and it might be useless if you're a witness, or it might be useless if you're the assassin.
You gotta play at the right time.
Right.
You gotta guess that the person's about to just slaughter you. So, to me, it's a lot of guesswork versus their answer is Doctor's Bag's way better. I agree. You can, anytime someone plays one of the 3 healing cards, you heal.
Where is Doctor's Bag? Was it in here?
I had it at the end. I had it for a little while.
Yeah, so what does it say? It's a condition, right?
Yeah. Whenever you reveal a suture, medicine, or advantage, then you heal one of your wounds.
Yeah.
And the suture heals the other player.
So, I mean, it is strong, but once again, like Brett said, you need those other cards.
Yeah.
But the nice thing about this is you keep it indefinitely. And then you
there's-
can play the other ones later.
because it's a condition.
It's a condition.
Yeah, so, I mean, the
Suture is not.
well, the contention, that one is I played it early, but really it's I know you have 7 health and you're at 6. Okay, I'm going to play this.
Yeah.
I'm going to steal your doctor's bag. Oh, and you can't take this from me, otherwise you will die.
Yeah.
So, the multi-purpose cards are just so fantastic because I wouldn't view the doctor's bag as OP, but
No.
that's just my kind of play style.
No, I don't think it is, but it's synergistic with other cards.
Yeah.
And every card, they do have a usefuln's rating in there, but they even said what is useful.
Yeah.
What's the, it's
Depends on
arbitrary.
situation,
It's
depends
exactly
on how suspicious
Ricochet.
people are.
I was sitting there when I saw that you guys. I was like, "Fuck that card!
Yeah.
That's so broken." But it just so happened to be amazing
In that moment.
in that moment
hit
with the
right-
wrong card,
Yes.
but the right card, and you basically killed me, and then Brett won.
Yeah.
But you were just trying to protect yourself from the event, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna try and fucking kill him. There's an earthquake, I'll push him off, and then I fall off.
Yeah.
So what's also great is the game kind of works very abstract, but I feel like a lot of theme is pulled out of this game.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
And the fact that they have their own soundtrack is awesome.
Yep.
The artwork plays into it perfectly.
The artwork is really good, very minimalistic, but really good.
A little eerie, but not overwhelming.
Yeah.
Scary.
Yeah, it's not scary.
Just how you'd feel. This is kind of how I'd feel walking down a dark street in an unfamiliar area.
with a person or a few people that you're like, wait a minute. Because the how to play, I think she did a really good analogy of you meet up with the witness at the bar or at the diner, and then you leave. Was this a person you were actually supposed to meet?
Yeah.
Or did the assassin kill them and take their place? And it's so the entire time, where a lot of games are like Dead of Winter, its major fault is if you know for a fact, because there are ways for you to see people's roles, if you can figure out that everyone's on the same team, the game is wickedly easy.
Yeah.
And even in this one, it's kind of you never truly feel, at least in our experience, that you were ever 100% safe.
Yeah.
Because it's man, why is everyone just working? Why is everyone helping out? And the entire time, even until the end of our first game, I was like, I don't fucking know. I'm just going to try and kill someone.
Yeah.
And even the two that we played tonight were radically different.
Yeah.
Yep.
The first one, we made it almost to the end without anyone really being very suspicious and all kind of wondering. This
Yeah.
one, right off the bat, throughout
Yeah.
the suspicion gone.
Yeah. And I will say the full circle.
But nobody directly attacked me constantly either.
Yeah.
Even knowing that was the right idea.
Yeah.
You knew, you did.
I felt
That's
like if
true. You, as the assassin, knew you were in the clear.
And,
or
and
felt
you
like
could
you were
have
in the clear.
hammered into me and he would have just gone right along with it.
Yeah, pretty much.
So then I tried to do it a little bit and say, well, pretty sure, it could be a mistake, and we might all be, so like the amalgamation where I heal myself 1 but do 1 damage to you. It's not that aggressive, but it's a little bit like, here, we'll just stick you just a little bit.
I think
I take 2 damage. I'll just take it.
Yeah, and then he kept healing, then he was like giving me cards, and I'm like, I was just so fucking defeated. But I think what kind of screwed up your plans was whenever you tried to book it to the end, you got your ass kicked.
Yeah.
Like those 3 ambush cards just really fucked you. And I'm like, well, thanks. Because I thought you were just trying to get to the end because you were trying to not get killed by him, which you weren't.
Yeah.
But I was like, yeah, run for the fucking exit. I'm right there behind you. Wait, I'm not. You guys took off. The expansion Under the Rose, is an optional variant for advanced players that offers new forms of combination building and resource management and creates powerful opportunities for deck manipulation. Each player is paired with a random agent Under the Rose, a mercenary that offers impactful effects in exchange for a price. In the end, these agents will not let players escape Mantis Falls until all debts to them have been paid. Randomly deal to each player 1 Horizon card and 1 Sky card. Players align these 2 cards face up in their playing area to make their agent Under the Rose. So essentially, they give you, like this for example, is you have Kit, and you have like, this actually looks relatively complex. We haven't played with this, but like, grenades and baseball bats have no effect on you. And then he has an underground ability. He has these, but you have these redeem cards. So essentially, you have to pay them back before you even escape. So they have fantastic expansions. I just would like more, which is always something that I always give to games I really like. So we'll see. I've never heard of this company. Have you?
No.
Distant Rabbit Games. Are they on Board Game Geek? Well, they will be, but
yeah.
Publisher, right? Who's the designer? Doesn't say. Distant Rabbit Games. They...
Adrian Carhard?
Yeah, this is literally their only game. So, I will be keeping an eye out. Alright, you guys got anything else? Cool. Alright, on a scale of 1 to 10, we'll start with Brett. No, we'll start with Zach. You're guest on the channel. We'll have you...
So I'll probably do a solid 8.
8?
Yep.
Nice. Brett?
I'm going to say 7. You know my disclaimer?
Yeah.
I think it's great, but it's hard for me to judge.
I really like it.
He wants to say 12.
I think I might give it a 10. Like, I have very little complaints. I just think that for a social deduction, it'd be a 9 originally, but I'm going to give it an extra point for the fact that there's no other... Like, I thought this was going to bomb.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, a social deduction...
It's new in the space, and it works.
Yeah.
That's rare.
Like, that is absolutely, fascinating. So they must have playtested the hell out of this to make it work, because for all intents and purposes, this should be like, okay, you're obviously the traitor.
Yeah.
Or overpowered abilities or something. But for it to be superior to other long-standing trader games for less people... I gotta give him an extra point for that. So I think it's fantastic. It probably won't be for everyone. Like Brett, for example, other people might find more complaints of, wow, I wish I could draw the Ricochet card or whatever. But like, I don't think there's a useless card in there, and the production quality is awesome. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a 10. This game is fantastic. So. That's our thoughts on Mantis Falls. Let us know what you think of the game in the comments below. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you. Hey everyone, thank you for watching, and I really hope that you enjoyed the video. If you would like to see more of my content, go ahead and click that subscribe button and the bell to be notified whenever I upload any new content. If you feel like supporting the channel, you can go ahead and click that Patreon link to be taken to my Patreon, and any help is truly appreciated. Other than that, stick around for any other run-throughs or reviews or cool top 10s or whatever I feel like putting on. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.